Hey everyone, it's Reason here.
And Vice.
Yep, and Vice, to bring you a little message before our meeting. I would like to remind you that these are our personal opinions and as such will differ from yours. We do not claim any expertise.
Except me.
Except Vice. We are simply expressing our ideas and feelings as fellow fans and readers. Furthermore, we would love to see you point out your own ideas and feelings below.
Do we really?
Well, I certainly do. So long as you keep it, and I cannot stress this enough, civil in the comment section.
Or else I get a hold of you, and we don't want that.
We really don't want that. I can't keep paying bail, guys. Now, without further delay, please enjoy the following episode of the AniVid Fanfiction Book Club.
Let's get going. Hey guys, it's Vice here, and I am the pebble that's in your shoe.
And I'm Reason, and I am the bench you were able to sit on to get the pebble out of your shoe. Yeah.
Took you a while there, Reason.
That was convincing. So yes, welcome back to another episode of the Fanfiction Book Club, where we will be talking about a particular little story.
Again, it's ruined my life in the best way possible.
Vice is certainly not complaining.
No, I'm not.
So, the story in question is called... Let me just make sure I get this right. It is called Red String Marichat by Marichat Sin.
Hold on.
By Marichat Sin. It's called, yes, Red String Marichat. Again, these ship names, they confuse me, and I didn't quite understand what the difference was until Vice explained to me what the love square was.
And the funny thing is that Reason actually went and watched one episode.
Just episode one. I wanted to figure out what was going on.
Well, with how you described it, it wasn't episode one.
It was, well, it said episode 1 on YouTube, but I don't know.
Well, you were talking about the bubbler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not, well, on Netflix, that's not episode 1.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I get mine. I believe that is actually, if I can get this real fast, the bubbler is like episode 9.
The hell?
On Netflix. So if anything, I bet you could watch anything except the exposition,
Except for apparently the episode 26 or whatever, where they finally talk about the Kwamis late in the season.
Yeah. Well, it gives it a good
build up.
It's just like, yeah, it gives it a good build up, and it's just like, oh, what other show have you actually seen like that?
A few, but they're all kids shows.
Yeah, I think it's a
It's a way that it happens. You gotta drag them in, and with the bright, flashy colors, and then you talk about the actual story. It's just a very common method of making kids shows. But enough about the show for now, because I have things to say about that show. Well, okay, so we're talking about the story, and according to Vice, and from what I've guessed from Vice, the author had a very gifted hand in making it feel very organic to the show, because the story frustrated the hell out of me, and apparently the show frustrates the hell out of their watchers. So, props to you. I know what you were doing, and you did it quite well.
Well, okay, so the show does frustrate you with the love square. That's what it basically frustrates you with. It's a good show with action and other stuff like that. So they did actually get that really right.
I did enjoy the action sequences quite a bit. I also loved the original, I think it was an original, akumatized person at the end.
Nightmare.
Yes. I wasn't sure if that was a real person. I looked them up. I couldn't find anything, so I figured that's an OC, and it was pretty cool.
Nightmare reminded me of, well, Pitch Black from Rise of the Guardians, if that was meant to be like that. Well, great way to nod to the great way to nod to that character. I think there was a little differences in it. I can't remember, but we'll come back to the ending soon.
Yes, to the ending later. So, yes, so originally I wasn't sure, because again, I've never seen the show. I've only seen episode 9 or 1, the one with the bubbler. And, but this story seems to take suit that there is something going on between Marionette and Chat Noir. That's what it seems like. Again, I don't think that's not a thing in the show, right?
You get to see them together at certain episodes. You do get to see them work together.
Marionette and Chat Noir?
Yeah, Marionette and Chat Noir. I believe episode 2 you get to see it. You get to see a couple episodes where he actually helps. He actually helps Marionette.
Okay. So, but like the big thing about this story is that it already has an implied sense that those two, well, that Chat Noir is interested in Marionette. And as we know, if you've seen the show, that Marionette has a crush on Adrian, but at this point she has no idea that Adrian is Chat Noir for some reason. Because, you know, the Superman effect or whatever it's called, Clark Kent thing. Ugh. It's so obvious, guys.
Yeah, I could see how it can be hidden with Marionette, because Chat has you know, he has his mask, he has his green eyes, but then there's a little bit more of the green because he has night vision goggles. Plus cat ears, and his hair is styled different than Adrian's. That's the only way I can see it with him. But with Marionette,
there's no excuse.
There's no excuse, Adrian. Come on.
So, what it seems like in this story was that the big thing is that Chat Noir will go along and visit Marionette, like basically like every night. Like every night he'll just like sneak on in like at her balcony and be like, "Hey, what's up, my princess?" And that's what he calls her. And then she calls him Kitty. And I wasn't sure, again, is that another thing that was canon, wasn't canon? It seems to me that is an author's decision.
I think if I can't remember if he does, because I haven't really been able to see all. Well, I've seen all the episodes, but I need to go back into them and like really pay attention to them, because last time I was watching them, I was doing stuff. It also might be that it is in the French canon, but like not in the American canon, because I was.
And we don't know French, so again, we would have to watch it subtitled, and subtitling things is always harder because it's not the language, and you have to pay attention, like more attention.
Yeah, like I've seen a couple of episodes in the French, and I do like depending on what American voice actors you find, because in the American voice actors, depending on which one you watch, Nino is voiced by the person who plays Ban in Seven Deadly Sins.
Oh God.
So that's like anime characters voice some of them, or you also have like the Nickelodeon voice actors. You know, it depends on what you find.
Makes sense.
But I do like the French voice actors. They're really good voice actors and stuff like that. So yeah, it might be canon in French. I'm not all too sure. I haven't been able to get all of the episodes in French yet.
That's fair. Because
I have it on Netflix.
So the next big thing is that one of the pieces here I wasn't sure. I forgot to ask you this. Marionette, is she a clothing designer of some sort? Because that's a big thing in this story, is that she's working on a Chat Noir clothing line.
Yes, she is actually an aspiring design. She really likes to make designs. It's one of the things that make her unique in the show too. It's just like, well, she really likes to make things. There's an episode, I believe it's the pigeon episode, Oh no, that's one you have to watch. It's hilarious. Which another thing is that Chat Noir is allergic to feathers. Guess who else is allergic to feathers?
Adrian.
And so they have to make a bowler, like in the show, they have to make a bowler hat, and she wins first prize because, well, she makes her own bowler hat. She has a design, and Chloe tries to steal the design in the show, but she goes, "No, it's my design because I write my name on, or like I signature, like I sew my name into all my clothes that I make."
Friggin' bitch. She was awful in this story too.
Oh, Chloe.
Oh, Chloe. But that's towards the end. So basically what happens is that there's a lot of, it's a lot of, like, cute little scenes them discussing, you know, talking, and just, like, there's, like, the day-to-day stuff, and then there's a few action scenes, like, with other already established akumatized people, and there's this copycat. I think, yeah, that's pretty, that keeps coming back. The copycat keeps coming back into the story, and that is a legitimate enemy,
Yes,
right?
yes, this akumatized person was actually caused by Chat Noir because this sculptor was talking about Ladybug of, oh, Ladybug's so cool, I want her to sign my picture and other stuff. Guys, just like, she's my idol. She, like, I spent everything to making this statue. To where Chat Noir gets jealous and he's just like, well, you know, me and Ladybug are kind of a thing, and so this artist is basically just distraught. He's just like, what does she see in him? So he does come back, and one thing that I do like about Marionette as Ladybug in the story is just like, well, I know Chat likes Marionette. He wants to protect Marionette a lot more now because he started to get feelings, and plus he had he had that little glimpse of the red string, which is it's an actual thing in real life. Like, a lot of people think of it.
It's a Chinese legend, basically, that
Yeah.
there's a red string that ties you to your soulmate, and it comes in this story only twice, though, I think.
Yeah. But the thing is that Adrian glimpses at it, he does the research on it and everything like that, to where he figures out that, oh, she's my soulmate. I saw the little red string tied to her pinky.
Mm-hmm. And he's disappointed that it's not Ladybug. Well, in his mind, he sees it attached to Marionette, and he's like, well, it's not Ladybug, but, you know, I could be with Marionette. You know, it's almost like you could be the same person. It's almost like they look the same.
Calm down, Reason.
I'm like 5 kinds of salty, not like, okay, I'm like salty at the author, but like in a good way, because like they did it like, ugh. They frustrated me in the way that it should be frustrating. There was one scene that literally made me scream. It's the scene where Adrian, or no, where Marionette asks Adrian something, and he says, "Yes, my princess." Like he's like, "Yes, my princess," and then he's like, "Crap!" And she's like, "What did you call me?" And I'm like, "Well, now the cat's out of the bag." And he's like, "Oh, well, you know, I know Chat Noir. He's a friend of mine, and that's what he calls you. Is it okay if I call you that?" And it's like,
I know, I remember that, and then I also remember, like, it's just like, oh, and one thing I don't get is just like, oh yeah, Ladybug is a good friend of mine. Oh yeah, Chat is a good friend of mine. No.
Stop. But the thing is like, it might as well be that way in the show from what you've told me.
It kind of is.
Again, oh my god, why do they do this? It's so frustrating.
You gave the show justice. You rocked.
Let's put it this way. I'm usually the first one to finish these fan fictions, and this time Vice was the one that burned through this.
Like, I could not put it down. And I already have the sequel and the one after that already in the library, ready for me to read them.
Oh, yes, this story decides to be, oh, so wonderful.
Cliffhanger.
But we will get to that. later as to what made it a cliffhanger, because there's three things that need to be brought up. One, there is some shocking. I was not expecting this. There was some lemon that I was not expecting. Just, I was like, oh, okay. Like, there are points that it becomes rather not Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the author, they went into quite some detail, including Chat Noir decided to think, it's a good idea to leave a hickey. Like, I get it. I get the point of it, but, like, it's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous thing to do that, especially anywhere that can be seen.
He basically went, "You're mine. No one else can have you. Mine."
Mine. And then she woke up and she was like, "Oh crap, what do I do? Well, I better hide it with my hair." And it's like, again, anytime I see someone walking around with like, just like with a hickey, I'm just like, oh, well, someone had fun.
Yeah, and but one thing that I do want to bring up is, I don't know when this was posted, or when it was posted compared to whenever the dates of the show was posted and stuff like that. But I wanted to bring up Chloe's akumatized. Yes, in this, it's something to do with anti-love and stuff like that, if I remember correctly. To where she'll hit you, and the person that you most love becomes the person that you most dislike. I believe that was a different character. His name was Dark Cupid.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the same thing, or yeah, it's basically the same thing. It's the person you love the most becomes the person that you hate the most. That's what Dark Cupid did. But it was it was Chloe this time that it happened to. And that's whenever Marionette, as Ladybug, finds out that Chat really, really likes Marinette.
Oh no.
And so I like how they did with the Lucky Charm. Well, with the Lucky Charm, it seemed a little too easy. Like, Amir, you whenever Amir pops up, it's just like, oh, I know what to do with this. We're gonna like bounce back the thing. In the show, they have it to where random things pop up. It's just like, oh, if you want to deal with someone who has to draw in the light, and you get a random bouncy ball, you have to like basically, she has to look around everywhere and find out what's going on,
mm-hmm.
and why it's a bouncy ball. So, like, whenever the Mir first arrived, I was like, well, that's kind of simple of what's it gonna be. But then how Ladybug is just like, oh, you want her? Well, you know, she basically used Chat's emotions to get the beam to be shot at her.
Oh, jeez. I remember that.
So at first it was simple, but then once I saw what was going on, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. I like how you did that.
It went from simple to, oh, that was clever, very nice.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting that the author was worried about us being too hard because it's their first fic, and I'm like, damn, if that's your first fic, I can't wait to see you with like 5 more years of running under your belt, because you're gonna be like, ba-ding!
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing if 5 more years, like, because this under your belt, oh, you're good. Like
if this is really like your first fic, that's like really impressive. Like their grammar is great, their structuring is great, their stuff, their conversations come off pretty organically. Their sense of space is pretty solid, especially during fight scenes. I found that, and I think that they were able to develop for what the story was meant to be. You know, the relationship thing was pretty well. Again, granted, with relationships, it's always tricky, and there could always be more set up. But that's just, you know, with anything. Because again, you jump into the story with it already pre-notion that this is a thing that's happening, so that allowed for less. That basically allowed the justification. But sometimes, you know, some people are going to be like, "Wait, what happened?" But it's like, just, you know, the story wasn't based around getting to that point, but what's happening after the point, basically.
Yeah, and one thing that I do like is that it wasn't rushed.
No, it
Like
wasn't. There was
it was like
definitely
there was
subplots and
no
other arcs going on.
yeah, there was no oh, I have to get this done. I have to get this chapter out. I have to do this and this and that. Like with it, like if you were rushed, it nobody can like we couldn't tell. We
I
can
couldn't
kind of
tell.
tell.
There were some
Yeah,
chapters
we
that were shorter than others, but that would be like the real only indication. It's not like their language, like their language choice, anything dropped. They kept it pretty consistent with keeping how their writing style would go, depending on no matter what they had to crank out at the time.
yeah. Like me and Reason could like we we liked it. Like it's just like it didn't seem rushed to us. Good grammar.
Vice very much enjoyed this story. Very
I
much
did
enjoyed this story.
because I basically called him. It's just like you done with the story? Yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. I was like, I think I got a couple more days, and then I was like, oh, look at that. I'm the one behind now.
I know. But anything else you would like to talk? Because like
Well,
we've
we have to cover the end, and we also have to talk about the gift that he gave her. And also, there was another point I was going to make, is that I've found this to be in a lot of stories that have to do with romance, and I've never quite personally understood it, but the need that everyone has like a particular smell, like I don't get it. Like he smells, I think I forget what it was, but like there's a like it's a thing. Like they smell like a particular way, and I've always found like what? Like, are you really that close? I don't know. I just, again, for me, my nose is very important. I always like trust it with this or that because I like to cook, so I always like base on that. But like to get close to someone, I don't know. It's odd to me. I'm pretty sure Vice, you could probably fill that in a little better, like understanding. Like I don't know. Do you get that? Again, this is just a thing that I see in a bunch of other stories.
the only way that I can really see someone actually having a really potent smell is if they just got done cooking with vanilla or something like that. I don't notice. Well, I don't get close enough to people to even smell people.
It's just I don't know. It's a thing. It's a thing that happens, and I'm wondering
We,
what it is.
me and Reason don't understand it, but if anyone else understands it, and please give us information.
Like
on
I've
this.
written a story. I'm working on a story that has a character that she's a baker, so naturally she smells like sometimes vanilla or cinnamon, depending on what she's making. But like that's like on her, and then it like fades after she's out of the bakery. But like it's not like an ever present thing of like lemon and mint, and I'm just like, what is happening? Although they did find it interesting, though, that did come back when there was the copycat and Marionette, or Ladybug, technically, was like, if you're going to pretend to be Chat Noir, you should at least smell like him. And I was like, I get it. I get that. Like, that comes off a little stalkery. Just a little, but it's a thing. Again, not a ding against you, it's just a thing. It's a thing.
Again, like if you could actually explain it to us of why.
Why the smell thing?
Personally, I don't get close to people. I don't like to get close to people. I don't like people.
Vice does not like people. No people.
So,
and then the next thing I wanted to bring up was the scene where basically he takes her to like the Eiffel Tower. Friggin' he gives her a big ol' necklace of black diamonds, which Chloe decides to be a complete bitch about, and it's like she probably stole it. It's probably fake. It's like, oh my god. And then she like takes her sketches, and then then Chat Noir gets really scary to get back her sketches, which is a very satisfying scene to read. I will definitely say that, because that bitch is I don't like that bitch.
He hasn't even watched the show, and he doesn't like Chloe.
I mean, she's unredeemable. I'm sure she's redeemable, because apparently there's a rumor going around she'll be getting her own Kwame in season 2, but I can't possibly see how.
I have a theory of how she's gonna get it, but it's not really important right now.
It's not related to this. And now for the big thing, and that's to discuss the last arc of the story, which is the nightmare arc of this story.
Yes.
Basically, what ends up happening, this one took me for twist after turn after all over the place.
Did you want to cry?
I don't want to cry. I was just like, I was so shocked at first because it basically starts out with like a nightmare in Adrian's mind that he can't save Chloe. Not Chloe. Fuck Chloe. Marionette. And she's being attacked, and then he like wakes up, and then he goes to Marionette to see her, and she's having a nightmare, and then other people are starting to have nightmares, and it gets really messy, and then it's like, it must be an akumatized person. Fortunately, this guy is strong. This fucker is strong, it seems. And he actually confronts Marionette because he wants to get to Chat Noir, and he knows that Chat Noir has a thing for Marionette. She goes try to run, but it doesn't work out. He captures her. She's thrown into a nightmare, and this is the scene that makes my heart drop. But not for the reason you'd know. It's the one scene is like that. He, in her nightmare, Chat Noir is there to save her from this guy on the top of the Eiffel Tower. And he says that, I know you're Marionette, I know that you're Ladybug, and I was like, oh, now you come out and say it. And then Marionette is actually akumatized in her nightmare, and she's trying to fight it, but she can't. She ends up killing Chat Noir, only to wake up, and I was like, damn it! The frustration here being that, it's revealed. Oh, it's not. It was a nightmare, so it was for nothing, except for giving me a heart attack and a half when she stabbed him.
Oh, yeah. Within his nightmare, I figured that was a nightmare like right away, because with nightmares, how like it's just like, oh yeah, this character is actually really in love with you and stuff like that, and then they just smash your dreams. The only way I can actually see that actually happening, because we got to see both point of views. Mm-hmm. So I figured out it was a nightmare whenever she's just like, oh, I hate your.
Yeah, she was like, I hate you. This is all your fault. I never want to see you, because of the fact she was like fucked up in a half because of being a nightmare.
It was basically, I lied. I don't love you. I hate you. This is all your fault. I hate you for doing this to me and other stuff like that. And it's just like, well, it has to be a nightmare, because we get to one bad thing about having two point of view type stories is whenever you get to see through Chat's eyes and Marionette eyes, you get to see how she's actually developed these feelings. She actually starts to like him. So whenever this nightmare came up, it's just like, it's a nightmare.
It can't be. This can't be happening, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just like, well, I kind of see it. I kind of see where it goes. But that's one of the harder things to do whenever you have two character point of view. Like, if anything, I could have seen like nothing against the story or anything like that, but a way to have did it a little bit differently is have it to where she actually does go with the feelings. She's just like, oh, thank you. I actually, not straight out saying I love you, because, it was hard for him to get her to kiss him.
But she does actually say that in her nightmare when she was akumatized. She says that, I do love you, and then he says, that's all I wanted to hear, and then he dies, but then not really dies, but just to give us a heart attack and a half. But, of course, we were all sure at that point that it was a nightmare, because, again, she was pulled into the darkness, and he doesn't have the power to akumatize, because apparently only one person can be akumatized, apparently, or something or other. I don't know. According to so this is basically...
Yeah. And,
But the big thing, and the next thing that happens basically is they end up hopping from nightmare to save people in their class about how they deal with it, and apparently there's this one chick, she's got like purple hair, and I guess she's kind of gothic or something, and her nightmare is nothing but like sprinkle sugar and unicorns, so that was pretty funny.
Yeah, she's the gothic girl. But yeah, I like the choices that they went with. It went so first it was Marionette's nightmare. Chat helped her from there, and then I believe it went to Nino's nightmare.
Yeah, it was Nino, and then it went.
Then it was Alex.
And it was Alex.
Who's the skater chick in the class?
And it was. I thought it was the goth chick, and then it was the skater chick.
Oh yeah,
because then they were like at the end they were like, what about seeing Kim, which is that I'm guessing like a foreign exchange student or something. I wasn't sure. Because I looked him up and I was like, oh, he's got a very, I'm guessing Korean name.
No, Kim is the jock.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. He's got a non-French name at the very least.
If anything, I'd see it more of American, just of how he looks.
But like, yeah, okay, but like, yeah. So
he has more of the American jock look than I guess he can look kind of French too.
No, I'm saying that like, yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know anything about the canon or who these characters are. I just know that they were apparently in these nightmares or had some kind of effect on these nightmares.
Yeah, I do like the choices of
what caused the nightmares.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, all of the pressure from my dad.
And then she feels like she's drowning because of the pressure. Then we have, well, and yeah, I think that was basically, that was the 4 main nightmares, I believe. Yeah, I believe. And then they got out of the nightmare to have a big fight against Nightmare. And if I'm not mistaken, they actually do de-evilize, actually, is the term that apparently is used in the show, which is kind of funny. And the little butterfly is set free, but at the same time, Marionette is falling off the Eiffel Tower.
And the thing about the Akumas is that Ladybug is the only one who can purify them.
So, basically, it's either that...
And that is the cliffhanger.
Yep, that the last thing is do I save my future, or something like that, or it's like my love or the world, and it's like, oh, so that's how you're gonna end it for me. I see. Very
the
nice.
thing is that in the canon, if Ladybug does not de-akumatize or de-evilize the little Akuma, it spreads, and sooner or later, there's like 100 of that one villain.
You're kidding.
It happened in like the arc, or like, it's just like, oh yeah, these are the Kwamis. You have to de-evilize them. If you don't, there's going to be a lot of them, and those are just mindless slaves that are
under Hawkmoth.
So it is basically, do I save Marionette or do I save the world? That is that is true, and I love that. It's just like, and then like it's just like, wait, there's a chapter after this, and then I saw that there's just like, oh yeah, sequel. I was like, get it now, get it.
At least you have the sequel and the trequel, the sequel of the sequel.
Yeah, so it's just like, And it kind of makes me wonder what's going to happen to the other ones. But we're not talking about those. We're talking about this one.
Yes, we are.
All in all, you did the show justice.
All in all, Vice was very happy with the story. Extremely happy.
Vice is very happy, and it's every so often it's hard to make me happy.
And
I just have a really short
happy.
leash whenever it comes to things. I have a really short leash whenever someone doesn't want me to be mean.
I'm just saying, there's no need to be that mean as some of the things you want to say. There's just no need for it. It's not going to help. It's not constructive. It's just rude.
But yeah, I completely and utterly liked it. And personally, I'm going to go and read your other 2 stories.
So yeah, it seems that, so that's what is happening there. I believe that we gave... what few criticisms we had. Granted, there could be, more, build up or whatnot. But like the thing is like that's the thing with fan fiction is that there's already pre-established characters and you already know their personality, so you don't have to worry too much about that. You already know what these characters are. So all in all, I think that your OC of the nightmare I think was pretty ingenious. I love the concept of it, so that was pretty cool. So, I think that that villain, that antagonist was pretty solid, and I think for what it was meant to be in that, with the setup of how this story ends was excellent, even though I have no idea how they're going to fix this, because the one thing I can imagine, if I may, is just that Marionette is going to turn into Ladybug to save herself and then reveal to everyone. But, again, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing that would make sense, like to save the world and save herself. But then that would put everyone who's in that vicinity in danger because they'd all see it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that is the end of our discussion. It wasn't too long, but there wasn't too much to say. Besides, we talked about how much we were happy with it and all that good stuff. So yeah.
So in the words of the author, we went nice on you because there was nothing bad to say.
Of course, again, it's not, you didn't do, again, you wanted us to be nice and you gave us a story that we couldn't be mean to, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, great job to you. And I think that's it, yeah.
Yeah, so with that,
we have another Miraculous Ladybug story because somebody really, really wanted it, and we often don't get permission no matter how many we send, but this time we ended up getting... I did not plan this. I swear, I did not plan this. We sent out that this was actually the first miraculous story we wanted to do. This was the first one that we sent out, and then so whenever we sent out the other one, we were kind of scared not to get a response, but we got a response from them, and we're grateful for that. Because again, we asked for permission. It's our way of doing things. It's not easy to get permission. Yeah, it'd be much simpler for us to just be like, oh look, all right, we got this one, let's just do it. But we don't, because that's just not what we do.
Yeah. To where yeah, we got permission for this one, so I swear I didn't plan this.
So yeah, here's the story. It is called Marichat Sin by XX Lady Noir XX, and
the summary is, Mary, my princess, I love you.
Right there, right to the point. Which leads you to believe that apparently this must be a thing in the French version, I'm guessing, that the princess thing, or maybe it's just a fandom thing, that's just what Cat Noir calls Marionette, but again, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, I will read the tags. It is fanfiction. Adrian Agrest. Oh, that's his last name.
Adrian Agrest. Yeah. Agrest is his last name.
Adrianette, Alino, DJ Wi-Fi, 4 ships, 2 people, which I'm guessing is the love square, Lady Noir.
Actually, DJ Wi-Fi, Nino is a DJ, and Alia, who is Marinette's best friend, was turned into Lady Wi-Fi. Maybe.
Well, no, but it says right here, 4 ships, 2 people.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, that's the square.
Yeah, that's the square right there, yeah.
But there also might be mention of Alia and Nino.
Which is right here, Alino. So I guess that's a thing too. Then we have Marichat, oh, that's her last. That's the full name. I'm not even gonna try. Miraculous Ladybug.
Marionette Duponchain.
Oh, that was a lot easier than I thought it was. My bad. ML Waddy Awards Sin Waddy 2016. It is 46 parts and it's got 80. It's almost got 86K reads. So that's exciting.
Yeah, with some of these things, it looks like it's not really 46. It looks like maybe 28, 9, 10. 10 would be like 30. It seems like about 30 really chapters. The rest are my worst nightmare.
Oh no. Be nice. So yeah, as always, we have the information down below. You can check out this week's story and next week's story down below and make sure to enjoy it and all that good stuff.
Yep. And so with that, we are done with that. Now we can go and start reading this story. And for a little okay, so not this Friday, but the next Friday, to give us a little break because it looks like it is going to be quite a bit story, even if it like 46 parts. Last t- last time we read a story about this long, we needed break. So to have a little standpoint or a little break on reading and then recording, there is going to be in 2 weeks. There is going to be a little game that me and Reason are going to play. And in the comment section below, you guys can play along too. So, me and Reason, we are going to come up with questions of the stories that we have read. So, it's going to be on all the stories that we read. It's not going to be in order from first to last, but it's going to be like Dragon Mating Season, Child of Mew, Kylo Ren, Bill Cipher, Child, Dark and Hollow Pasta. We're just gonna come up with, I want to say, two questions each for those, and you guys can play along and see if we get any questions wrong. But
which who knows?
Don't just come in here. No, you were gone.
I was gone, but then I came back.
Yeah, no, but you can't take claim to this.
It's your idea. I'm just saying, this is your idea. I just had to come in and be like, yeah, guys, I'm still here.
Yeah, but so I want to say from each story that we read, we are on episode 10 of this. So each story that we have read, we will come up with 2 questions from these stories, the ones that we think are good, and so we'll come up with 2 questions from each of these stories. We'll ask each other these questions. It doesn't have to be in order, so one might be from Dragon's Mating Season, and then you can do a question from Bill Cipher's Child, and then you could do a question from the Mistake, and then go back to Dragon Mating Season. So it basically makes us go through the things, and it's going to be a final thank you for letting us read your stories.
Yep. So yeah, that's the kind of torture I get to deal with, because Vice is gonna make fun of me if I get anything wrong.
Well, you're probably gonna do the exact same thing.
I'm a nice person. I don't know what you're talking about.
When you want to be.
Anyways, I think that is a good place to drop off. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and read the stories below.
Give the people who've written and probably taken months to write these stories the credit they deserve.
Not everyone, again, they're doing it for fun. They're not doing it for money. So, that's a noble cause.
Yep. So, with that, we'll see you next meeting.
Bye.